Ethan landed his small spaceship gently on the rough terrain of the planet Zorana. It was a strange world, quiet and dark, filled with ruins and forgotten buildings. He had traveled alone for many months to reach this distant place, driven by stories of tragedy and abandonment. The rest of the galaxy had ignored the planet, calling it cursed and dangerous. But Ethan refused to believe that any place was beyond hope. He stepped out of the ship carefully, looking around at the desolate landscape. The sky was a faded purple, and thick clouds drifted slowly, hiding the sunlight. Broken machines and abandoned structures littered the ground, covered with rust and dust. The air smelled dry, with a faint hint of metal. He could feel sadness and loneliness everywhere. Ethan took his equipment from the ship: food, water, medical supplies, and some basic tools. He was determined to help anyone still alive here. He activated a small scanner on his wrist and started exploring. His heart beat faster as he wondered what he would find. Hours passed. Ethan walked through the empty streets and ruined buildings. He saw no one, only silence and decay. But just when he began to lose hope, he heard a faint sound coming from behind a fallen wall. He moved closer quietly, unsure of what he might encounter. Behind the rubble, he saw her, a young alien girl, frightened and alone. She was small and thin, with pale blue skin and large, dark eyes filled with fear. She trembled when she saw Ethan, trying to hide herself behind the debris. "Please don't hurt me," she whispered, her voice weak and shaking. Ethan slowly knelt down, showing his empty hands. "It's okay. I'm not here to hurt you. My name is Ethan. I came here to help." The girl hesitated, watching him closely. Finally, she seemed to believe him, stepping cautiously out of her hiding spot. "My name is Mira," she said softly. "Are you really here to help? Everyone else left us." "I know," Ethan said gently. "But I didn't. How many of you are here?" "I don't know exactly," Myra answered, looking around anxiously. "Many were lost. Some ran away when the others left. We tried to survive, but it's been so hard." Ethan handed her some food and water from his bag. She took them gratefully, her eyes brightening slightly. He could see that she was very weak and tired. "We'll find the others," Ethan assured her. "You're not alone anymore." After Myra ate, she led Ethan through the ruins, guiding him to other places where survivors might be hiding. As they traveled, Ethan saw signs of struggle everywhere: makeshift shelters, abandoned belongings, and marks of desperate attempts to stay alive. Each sight made him more determined to find and help those left behind. They discovered 2 more alien girls hiding in a collapsed building. They were frightened and wary at first, but Myra's presence reassured them. Ethan spoke calmly and kindly, offering food and medicine. Gradually, they began to trust him. "We thought no one cared," one of the new girls named Lena whispered as Ethan treated a cut on her arm. Her skin was a soft shade of green, and her large eyes watched him carefully. "Our own people left us behind." "Why would you, a stranger, come to help us?" Ethan smiled gently. "Because it's the right thing to do. No one deserves to be abandoned." As evening approached, Ethan and the small group of survivors found a sturdy building to use as temporary shelter. Ethan set up a simple campfire and prepared more food. Around the warmth of the fire, the alien girls gathered. Still cautious but beginning to feel safer, Mira sat beside Ethan, looking up at the cloudy sky. "Do you think more people will come for us?" she asked quietly. "I don't know," Ethan admitted. "But whether they do or not, I promise I won't leave you." Myra smiled slightly, her fear gradually fading. For the first time in a long while, she felt a tiny spark of hope. She wasn't alone anymore. Ethan's calm and steady presence gave her courage, and she saw the same feeling reflected in the eyes of the other girls around her. As night fell over Zorana, Ethan looked at the small group he had gathered. He knew this was just the beginning. There were many more survivors out there, hidden and afraid. But for tonight, at least, he had started something important. He had given these girls hope that tomorrow Ethan would continue the search, determined to gather everyone he could find. He knew the path would be challenging, filled with danger and uncertainty. Yet, he felt no doubt or fear. He was human, and helping others was what humans did best. The next morning, Ethan woke up early and prepared a simple meal for everyone. The alien girls gathered around the small campfire, eating quietly and sharing cautious smiles. Ethan noticed how quickly their spirits were improving. Myra, Lena, and their new companion, Kara, looked stronger, their eyes less haunted by fear. After breakfast, Ethan stood up and spoke softly but firmly. Today, we will keep looking. There are more survivors out there, and they need us. Remember, together we are stronger. Myra nodded earnestly, and Lena seemed determined, standing up with a newfound confidence. Kara, still shy but trusting Ethan more each moment, moved closer. The small group prepared quickly, carrying supplies and tools Ethan had brought. They left their shelter, heading towards another area Mira had mentioned. The ruined buildings around them looked bleak, but sunlight breaking through the clouds brought warmth and brightness. Ethan led the way, his eyes constantly scanning for signs of life. After a while, Myra stopped suddenly, pointing toward a large structure ahead. That was our community center, she explained softly. Many people used to gather there. Ethan moved forward carefully, signaling the others to stay quiet. The building was heavily damaged, with broken walls and scattered debris everywhere. Ethan heard faint sounds inside voices. Quiet and frightened, he stepped cautiously into the darkened hall, calling out gently, "It's okay. I'm here to help. My name is Ethan. You're safe now." Slowly, shadows shifted inside the hall, and several young alien girls emerged from hiding. They looked worn, thin, and very frightened, but their eyes filled with relief at Ethan's calm voice. Among them, a girl with purple skin and silver eyes stepped forward, clearly the leader of this small group. "My name is Zara," she said, her voice strong despite her obvious exhaustion. "We thought everyone forgot us." "Not everyone," Ethan replied. "Kindly, I won't leave you behind. Let's get you some food and water first." Outside, Marlena and Kara warmly greeted the new survivors, quickly sharing their supplies. Zara, reassured by their kindness, explained that her group had stayed hidden here since the abandonment. They feared leaving because of the dangerous creatures roaming Zorana. As Zara spoke, Ethan realized the true difficulty ahead. Protecting this growing group would be challenging, especially with threats lurking nearby. Yet, seeing the hope in their eyes strengthened his resolve. "We'll need a safer place," Ethan told them, looking thoughtfully around the ruins. "Somewhere easy to defend." "There's an old fortress nearby," Zara suggested hesitantly. "It's very old, but strong. We never dare go there alone." "Then we'll go together," Ethan said decisively. The journey to the fortress was slow. The new survivors moved cautiously, constantly looking around in fear. Ethan reassured them repeatedly, keeping them calm and focused. They traveled carefully, avoiding areas that seemed dangerous. When they finally reached the fortress, Ethan saw immediately that Zara was right. It was an ancient structure, built solidly from heavy stones. High walls provided excellent protection, and its position on a small hill gave clear views in all directions. "This is perfect," Ethan said confidently, leading them inside. "We can make this our home." Over the next hours, the group worked tirelessly to clean and repair their new shelter. Ethan taught them basic survival skills, helping them build strong barricades and secure entry points. He showed them how to set up defenses, ensuring they felt safe and confident. As night approached again, the group gathered around a large fire, eating together and sharing stories. The atmosphere had completely changed. The girls, once frightened and desperate, now showed signs of resilience and hope. Ethan's presence made them believe in a better future. "Thank you, Ethan," Zara said, quietly, sitting next to him. "You came when everyone else had given up on us." "No one deserves to be abandoned," Ethan repeated softly, gazing at the bright stars above. You're all stronger than you realize, and together we'll get through this. Mira watched Ethan with deep gratitude, feeling warmth and safety for the first time in ages. She saw clearly that Ethan's courage inspired them all. Lena, Kara, and the others had also begun to trust themselves, seeing their own strength through Ethan's unwavering belief in them. Late that night, Ethan kept watch, while the girls slept peacefully. He understood clearly that their journey was only beginning. Challenges would come, but the unity and trust forming among them would carry them through. He knew they were building something powerful, something that would inspire others across the galaxy. Ethan felt a deep pride and determination, with patience, kindness, and courage. Ethan vowed silently that no one here would ever feel abandoned again. In the following days, the fortress became a bustling center of activity and hope. Ethan worked closely with the alien girls, teaching them survival skills like gathering food, creating safe drinking water, and basic defense strategies. The girls, previously fearful and hesitant, now moved with purpose, gaining confidence with each passing moment. Mira had become Ethan's closest ally. She eagerly learned everything he taught her and quickly helped the others. Her leadership and courage grew daily, influencing the entire group. Lena, Kara, Zara, and the new arrivals found strength and unity in Myra's growing confidence. One bright morning, Ethan decided they should venture out again. The group still needed more supplies, and there were likely more survivors hidden around the planet. Ethan selected Mira, Zara, and Lena to accompany him, leaving Kara and the others to secure the fortress. They moved cautiously through Zorana's ruins, the familiar eerie silence enveloping them. Ethan guided them carefully, his eyes sharp and alert. Myra, Zara, and Lena stayed close, their trust in Ethan visible through their calm and steady movements. Suddenly, Ethan spotted something moving quickly in the shadows ahead. He raised his hand, signaling the others to stop. Carefully, he stepped forward alone to investigate, his heart beating faster. Hidden behind a fallen wall was another small group of frightened alien girls. They watched Ethan cautiously, eyes wide and suspicious. Ethan spoke gently, reassuring them of his intentions. "My name is Ethan," he explained softly. "We have a safe place. Come with us, and you won't be alone anymore." A girl with bright, golden eyes and deep blue skin stepped forward hesitantly. "I am Rena," she said quietly. "How can we trust you?" Before Ethan could respond, Myra stepped forward calmly. "We trusted Ethan, and he helped us. He has kept every promise." Rena studied Mira carefully, seeing her sincere confidence. Slowly, she nodded and led her companions out of hiding. Ethan handed out food and water, gaining their trust quickly. The new survivors joined them gratefully, relieved and amazed that someone had come to their rescue. On their way back to the fortress, Ethan spotted unusual footprints nearby. He paused, studying them closely. These tracks belonged to creatures he hadn't seen yet, dangerous ones. He warned the girls to stay alert. "Stay close," he advised firmly. "We might not be alone." The girls moved swiftly and quietly, keeping a close watch on their surroundings. But just as they neared their safe haven, a low growl echoed around them. From the ruins emerged several large, menacing creatures, their eyes glowing with hostility. Ethan reacted immediately. "Run! To the fortress!" he shouted, positioning himself between the beasts and the girls. Myra hesitated for a moment, unwilling to leave Ethan alone. "We can fight with you," she protested bravely. "Go, protect the others," Ethan ordered firmly, his eyes steady and determined. Myra obeyed, leading the group quickly towards safety. Ethan stood his ground, using his training and quick thinking to distract the creatures. He used everything at hand to fend them off, creating enough chaos to slow their pursuit. Inside the fortress, Myra quickly organized the others. Lena, Zara, and Kara prepared defensive measures inspired by Ethan's training. They took positions, ready to defend their home if necessary. Ethan finally reached the fortress gates, breathing heavily. The girls quickly pulled him inside and secured the heavy doors. Together, they watched carefully from high on the walls. As the creatures, unable to breach the defenses, retreated into the darkness. Safe again, Ethan turned to Mira, proud and grateful. "You did well," Myra smiled back, relieved yet serious. "We learned from the best." Later, around a comforting fire, Ethan praised everyone's bravery. "Today showed how strong you all had become. Together, we can face anything." The girls, feeling closer and more united than ever, knew Ethan was right. Their struggles had forged an unbreakable bond. Each day they grew stronger, learning from Ethan and each other. Mira stood beside Ethan quietly, reflecting on everything they'd accomplished. Ethan's courage and kindness inspired her deeply. She knew their fight was far from over, but with Ethan's guidance, they would never feel abandoned again. Ethan looked around the circle of determined faces, proud of their growing resilience. Every girl here was proof that hope could rise even from despair. He vowed silently to protect and nurture that hope. Night settled over Zorana, peaceful and quiet again. Ethan knew tomorrow would bring new challenges, but tonight, surrounded by friends and allies, he felt certain of their strength. Together, they had started rebuilding more than a fortress. They had begun rebuilding trust, hope, and the belief that no one should ever be left behind. Days turned into weeks as Ethan and the girls continued to strengthen their fortress. Life on Zorana was still challenging, but they were adapting well. Each day, Ethan trained the group in basic survival skills and defense. Myra, Lena, Zara, and Kara took charge of various tasks, guiding new arrivals and helping them feel safe and welcome. One afternoon, Ethan decided it was time to explore further. He wanted to find more survivors and gather important resources to keep their growing community safe and well-fed. Myra, Zara, and Lena joined him again, their confidence stronger than ever. The group traveled deeper into the unexplored parts of the ruined city. Ethan remained alert, carefully guiding the girls through unfamiliar terrain. The air felt heavy, and a strange stillness surrounded them, making everyone cautious. "This area feels different," Zara whispered nervously. Her eyes scanned the dark shadows carefully. "Stay close," Ethan reassured her, moving slowly and deliberately. "We'll move carefully." They entered what appeared to be an ancient, abandoned marketplace. Broken stalls and empty shops surrounded them. As they searched for useful supplies, Ethan noticed something unusual, a faint light coming from inside one of the buildings. "Wait here," he said quietly, approaching cautiously. Ethan peeked carefully inside and saw a group of girls, younger and more frightened than any they'd met before. They sat huddled in a corner, weak and scared. Seeing Ethan's shadow, they whimpered softly, pulling back in fear. "Please don't be afraid," Ethan spoke gently, entering slowly. "I'm here to help. You're safe now." The girls watched him anxiously, eyes wide and uncertain. A brave young girl with soft pink skin finally spoke up. "Who are you?" "My name is Ethan. My friends and I have a safe place. Come with us, and we can protect you," he explained softly. Slowly, the young survivors trusted Ethan enough to follow him outside. Myra, Lena, and Zara greeted them warmly, sharing food and water. The newcomers relaxed visibly, relieved to be safe. On their way back, Ethan sensed something was wrong. The quiet around them felt unnatural, and he knew danger was nearby. Suddenly, loud roars erupted from every direction. Dangerous creatures, more aggressive and numerous than before, appeared quickly surrounding them. "Stay behind me," Ethan ordered urgently. The alien girls quickly obeyed, moving tightly together. Ethan fought bravely, defending the group from the fierce attacks. Myra, Zara, and Lena remembered Ethan's training and quickly formed a defensive circle around the younger survivors, using makeshift weapons to help Ethan protect them. The battle was tough and exhausting. But Ethan and the girls stood firm. The creatures finally retreated, unable to overcome the group's determination and unity. Breathing heavily, Ethan checked each girl carefully for injuries, relieved to see everyone safe. "You all did amazing," Ethan praised them, pride clear in his voice. "You stay calm and work together." They returned to the fortress, tired but victorious. Everyone celebrated their safe return, warmly welcoming the newest arrivals. Each victory strengthened their sense of community and belief in each other. In the following days, Ethan focused on teaching the girls more advanced defense techniques. Myra excelled quickly, becoming a capable leader and trainer herself. Lena, Zara, and Kara grew stronger as well, taking responsibility for various tasks and helping Ethan organize daily life. One evening, as they all sat around the fire, Myra spoke earnestly. "Ethan, you've taught us to fight and survive. But you've also shown us something even more important." "What's that?" Ethan asked gently. "You've shown us how to care for each other," Myra answered sincerely. "We feel stronger because we're not alone anymore. We have each other and you." Ethan smiled warmly, deeply moved. "That's exactly right. Together, we have built something powerful, something we can keep building." As the days continued, life in the fortress improved steadily. The girls became skilled at farming and collecting resources, building safe and sturdy shelters, and protecting each other. New arrivals constantly joined their growing community, grateful for the safety and hope Ethan and the others provided. Each new challenge strengthened the girls further. They had faced fear, uncertainty, and danger, yet now they stood united, confident in their collective strength. Ethan watched with pride, knowing they were becoming stronger and more independent every day. At night, under Zorana's clear sky filled with stars, Ethan often reflected on everything they had accomplished. This group of abandoned girls had grown into a confident, capable community. Their courage inspired him daily. Ethan understood their journey was far from finished. Challenges would always be part of their lives. Yet, knowing the girls stood bravely at his side, he felt prepared to face whatever came next. Together, they had transformed the place of despair into a haven of hope. The community in the fortress flourished, becoming more stable and secure each day. Ethan, Mira, and their companions worked tirelessly, ensuring everyone felt safe and valued. New survivors continued to arrive, each with their own story of struggle and abandonment, but they quickly found comfort and strength within the growing group. One quiet morning, Ethan noticed Mira looking troubled. She stood alone, staring toward the horizon with a thoughtful expression. Concerned, Ethan approached her gently. "Is everything all right, Mira?" he asked softly. Mira turned slowly, giving Ethan a faint smile. "I'm worried, Ethan. We've made our home here, but what if those who abandon us return? What if they want to harm us again?" Ethan placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "We'll be ready for anything, Myra. We become strong together, and we will face any challenge that comes." Comforted by his words, Myra nodded, determination returning to her eyes. Together, they rejoined the others and began their daily tasks. As the day progressed, something unexpected happened. A spaceship appeared in the sky, its engines roaring loudly. Everyone watched anxiously as it landed near the fortress. Ethan quickly gathered the girls, preparing for any possibility. The ship's door opened slowly, revealing a single alien woman stepping cautiously outside. She appeared hesitant, unsure of what to expect. Her clothing was torn, and she seemed weak and afraid. "Please," she called out softly. "I mean no harm. I come for help." Ethan stepped forward cautiously. "Who are you?" he asked firmly yet gently. "My name is Liara," she replied, her voice shaking slightly. "I come from a nearby planet. We heard about your community, how you help those in need. We desperately need your help." The girls exchanged nervous glances, but Ethan stepped forward confidently. "Come inside. We'll listen to your story." Liara joined them around the comforting fire inside the fortress. She explained how her own people had recently faced disaster and abandonment. Desperate, she had traveled alone, hoping to find the rumored community led by Ethan. Listening carefully, Ethan knew they had to help Liara and her people. The girls, inspired by Ethan's determination, agreed wholeheartedly. "We will help," Ethan declared decisively. "But first, we must ensure our own safety." Over the next few days, Ethan and Mira prepared carefully for the new mission. They organized teams, gathered resources, and trained everyone to be ready for possible dangers. Ethan reminded them constantly about the importance of unity and cooperation. Finally, the day of their departure arrived. Ethan, Myra, Zara, Lena, and a few other capable girls joined Liara aboard her spaceship. The community wished them luck, confident in Ethan's leadership and the team's ability. The journey to Liara's planet was tense but filled with determination. As they approached, Ethan and his team could see the planet had suffered greatly. Ruined cities and damaged landscapes greeted their eyes, painfully similar to Zorana's past conditions. Upon landing, Liara guided them to where survivors had gathered. These survivors were frightened and desperate, but seeing Liara return with help brought a new sense of hope. Ethan immediately took charge, providing clear instructions and organizing tasks quickly. The team began repairing shelters, distributing food and medicine, and teaching vital survival skills. Mira and Zara comforted and reassured the survivors, sharing their own stories of overcoming despair. As the days passed, hope returned to the alien survivors. Ethan watched with pride as Mira, Zara, Lena, and the others took leadership roles, demonstrating strength and confidence. They had grown incredibly from their first frightened days on Zorana, but their challenges were not yet finished. One evening, alarms sounded urgently. Liara rushed to Ethan, her eyes wide with fear. "Our scanners detected an approaching ship," she warned. "It's the same group that abandoned us. They might come to cause harm." Ethan acted immediately, calmly organizing defenses and reassuring everyone. Myra and the team worked swiftly, preparing to protect their new friends and allies. When the enemy ship landed, Ethan stood bravely at the front, Mira and Zara by his side. A small group emerged from the enemy ship, looking surprised at the prepared resistance facing them. Their leader stepped forward arrogantly, clearly expecting surrender. "Leave now," Ethan commanded clearly, his voice steady and firm. "You abandoned these people once. They are no longer alone. You won't harm them again." The leader hesitated, clearly intimidated by Ethan's confidence and the united strength behind him. After a tense moment, the enemy backed away slowly, returning to their ship and leaving without a fight. Cheers erupted from the survivors. Ethan turned to Mira and smiled proudly. Together, they had again shown the strength of unity and resilience. Returning to Zorana, Ethan and his team were welcomed. Heroes. Their actions had shown the power of compassion, courage, and cooperation. Mira looked at Ethan gratefully, knowing their community's strength and bravery had grown, ready to face any future challenge together. After their successful mission to Liara's planet, Ethan and his companions returned to Zorana with greater confidence and pride. Their community thrived even more, becoming a beacon of hope across the galaxy. News about their bravery and kindness spread quickly, inspiring many who had faced similar struggles. However, peace did not last long. One morning, Ethan received a troubling message. A powerful group in the galaxy, angered by Ethan's interference in their plans, had decided to confront him directly. They demanded he surrender, threatening severe consequences if he refused. Mira, Zara, Lena, Kara, and Liara stood beside Ethan as he read the message aloud to their gathered community. Fear and concern filled their faces, but Ethan's calm presence reassured them. "We knew this day might come," Ethan told them gently yet firmly. "We must face this together. Our strength lies in our unity." Determined, everyone began preparations. Ethan and the experienced girls carefully organized defenses around the fortress. Younger members helped by gathering resources, building barricades, and preparing medical supplies. The entire community worked tirelessly, their bond stronger than ever. Days passed, filled with anticipation and readiness. Finally, the expected day arrived. Several large spaceships appeared above Zorana, hovering ominously. Ethan stood calmly at the fortress gates, surrounded by his loyal companions. The ships landed, and a delegation approached, led by a tall, stern-looking alien named Commander Vale. He looked at Ethan with clear anger, expecting immediate surrender. "You have interfered enough," Vale declared sharply. "Surrender now, and your people will be unharmed. Resist, and you will face destruction." Ethan stood firmly, meeting Vale's gaze without fear. "You abandon these innocent lives," Ethan replied. "Strongly. You have no right to demand anything from us now. We choose freedom." Vale narrowed his eyes, signaling his soldiers to prepare for attack. Ethan's heart pounded with tension, but he showed no fear. He turned briefly to Myra and Zara, giving them an encouraging nod as the enemy soldiers advanced. Ethan gave the command, and the community sprang into action. Everyone fought bravely, using every skill Ethan had taught them. Myra and Zara led coordinated defensive movements, displaying impressive leadership. Lena and Kara protected younger members, ensuring their safety and providing medical assistance when needed. The battle was fierce and difficult. Ethan fought tirelessly at the front, motivating his companions with courage and determination. Vale's forces, though powerful, were startled by the fierce resistance they encountered. They had underestimated the resolve of Ethan's unified community. After hours of intense fighting, Vale signaled a temporary retreat, pulling his forces back. Exhausted but determined, Ethan gathered everyone quickly, checking for injuries and reassuring them. "They underestimated us," Ethan said confidently, "but they will return. We must prepare again." The community worked even harder during the short break, strengthening defenses and caring for each other. Myra stood beside Ethan, admiration and respect clear in her eyes. "We believe in you, Ethan," she whispered sincerely. Ethan looked around at the courageous faces surrounding him, feeling deep pride. "It's because we believe in each other," he replied gently. As expected, Vale's forces returned, reinforced and determined to break the community's resistance. Ethan and his companions stood ready once more, prepared to defend their home fiercely. But before fighting began again, something surprising happened. A new fleet of spaceships appeared suddenly above Zorana, descending quickly. Ethan and his friends watched anxiously, unsure of these newcomers' intentions. To their relief, these new arrivals were allies, survivors from Lyara's planet and other communities Ethan had inspired and helped. They landed swiftly, joining Ethan's side decisively. Commander Vale, shocked by the sudden alliance, hesitated. He saw clearly now the widespread support Ethan had gained through his courage and kindness. Vale finally stepped forward slowly, his attitude changed. "I see now," he said reluctantly, addressing Ethan directly. "Your strength comes from unity and compassion. Perhaps we have been wrong." "We offer peace," Ethan replied calmly, stepping forward. "We never wanted this conflict. Our goal is simply to live freely and protect those abandoned." After tense moments of consideration, Vale finally nodded, signaling his troops to lower their weapons. "Peace, then," he agreed cautiously. "We will reconsider our approach." Cheers erupted among Ethan's companions and their new allies. The threat was finally over. Ethan felt relief and joy, proud of their united strength and resilience. In the days following the peaceful resolution, Zorana became even more widely recognized as a sanctuary of hope and unity. Survivors and allies arrived regularly, drawn by the inspiring stories of courage and kindness. Ethan stood proudly with Myra, Zara, Lena, Kara, and Liara, grateful and hopeful for the future. Together, they had faced overwhelming challenges, proving that strength truly came from unity, compassion, and courage. Their community was now stronger than ever, ready to face whatever lay ahead. With the conflict finally resolved, peace settled firmly over Zorana. Ethan and the girls continued building their community, stronger and more united than ever. Stories of their courage and compassion spread throughout the galaxy, inspiring many who had previously felt hopeless and forgotten. One evening, Ethan gathered everyone around the central fire in the fortress. Myra, Zara, Lena, Kara, and Liara sat close, their faces bright with hope and contentment. Ethan looked at the group proudly, his heart filled with happiness and gratitude. "We faced many challenges together," Ethan began gently, his voice filled with sincerity. "When everyone else left, we chose to stand together. And because of that, we've become something incredible." Myra stood up, smiling warmly at Ethan. "You taught us courage and compassion, Ethan. Without you, we would have remained lost and afraid. You've shown us how to build a community filled with trust and hope." The others nodded eagerly, clearly sharing Myra's feelings. Ethan felt deeply moved, knowing how much they had all grown together. The days passed peacefully, but the community continued working hard. They built stronger shelters, farmed the land effectively, and developed new skills. Myra and Zara became key leaders, managing daily operations and helping newcomers adjust quickly. One sunny day, an unexpected visitor arrived, a representative from the Galactic Council. Ethan greeted the newcomer warmly, curious about the visit's purpose. The representative, a dignified alien named Ambassador Celine, addressed Ethan respectfully. "Your community has inspired many," Ambassador Celine explained warmly. "The Galactic Council wishes to formally recognize your bravery and kindness. We hope you'll join us at a special ceremony." Ethan agreed, honored by the recognition. Myra, Zara, Lena, Kara, and Liara accompanied him, excited and curious about the upcoming event. The journey to the Council's main planet was filled with anticipation and hope at the grand ceremony. Countless representatives from various civilizations gathered, celebrating Ethan's achievements. Ambassador Celine stepped forward, speaking to the large crowd gathered. "Today we honor Ethan and his brave companions," Celine announced warmly. "They showed us that compassion and unity are the most powerful forces in the universe." When many turned away, Ethan and his community chose hope and kindness. Ethan stood humbly, deeply moved by the words. He stepped forward briefly, addressing the audience clearly yet gently. "This honor belongs not just to me," Ethan began sincerely. "It belongs to every survivor who chose hope over fear, unity over isolation. Together, we've shown that no one deserves to be abandoned." Myra, Zara, Lena, Kara, and Liara stood beside him proudly, knowing their struggles had led to this beautiful moment. The audience applauded enthusiastically, inspired by Ethan's heartfelt words. After the ceremony, Ethan returned home to Zorana, welcomed warmly by the community. Life continued with renewed determination, now recognized and supported by many across the galaxy. Visitors frequently arrived, eager to learn from Ethan's community, hoping to build similar havens of unity and compassion elsewhere. One peaceful night, Ethan sat quietly under the stars, reflecting on everything they had accomplished. Myra joined him, her presence comforting and reassuring. "Did you ever imagine we'd reach this point?" she asked softly, gazing at the bright night sky. Ethan smiled gently, shaking his head slightly. "When I first landed on Zorana, I had hope, but I didn't fully know what we'd create together." "It's amazing how far we've come," Myra nodded thoughtfully. "We built more than a community. We created a family. Everyone here feels valued and important." Ethan agreed wholeheartedly. "And that's exactly what makes us strong. When we stand together, there's nothing we can't overcome." As days turned into months, the community grew even stronger. Ethan and the girls continued welcoming and guiding new survivors, teaching them the values that have made their community successful. Every new member felt hope and purpose, becoming part of a shared vision built on kindness and courage. Eventually, Ethan knew the time had come for him to entrust the leadership fully to Myra and Zara. They had proven their strength, wisdom, and compassion repeatedly. Ethan was proud of how far they had come, confident they would continue leading the community toward an even brighter future. On a clear morning, Ethan gathered the entire community, officially passing leadership to Myra and Zara. "I trust you completely," he told them warmly. "You both will lead with courage and kindness, continuing everything we've built together." Mira and Zara accepted the responsibility confidently, promising to uphold the values Ethan had instilled in them. Ethan, though stepping back, remained close, supporting them whenever needed. Life on Zorana continued beautifully. The fortress thrived, filled with joy, unity, and hope. Ethan watched with deep pride and gratitude, knowing the community would continue flourishing long into the future. Together, they had proven that compassion and unity could overcome even the greatest adversity, forever standing as an inspiration to all.